Hi everyone, this is Anirudh. Today we are going to discuss different storage device systems and specifically talk about Windows and Linux. So let's discuss some of the similarities and differences between the two operating systems. Windows and Linux both use a hierarchical file structure. They have directories and subdirectories to access files. Both operating systems use file permissions. These permissions basically control the ability for users to read and access data, and they can modify files and directories. Uh, Both the operating systems they offer support for multiple file systems. For example, Windows can support NTFS, FAT32, exFAT, while Linux uses ext4, XFS, BetterFS, and few more. Both the operating systems use a form of path notation to navigate the file system, and the Windows uses a backslash and Linux uses forward slash to access the path. The Windows and Linux both can handle various file types. That includes documents and media files. They rely heavily on their extensions to determine which is the file type. For example, .txt means it's a text file, for .jpg means it's for images. Now, coming to differences, Windows primarily uses New Technology File System or NTFS as we call it. On the other hand, Linux uses Fourth Extended File System or ext4. In Linux, files are basically case sensitive. So if you use uppercase versus lowercase, both are considered two distinct files. While in Windows, it's case insensitive. So NTFS and FAT32, if you are using uppercase or lowercase, both are considered as the same file. Linux has a single root directory, and while Windows has different drives where you can assign a drive letter to each storage device, and that basically creates separate root directories for each drive. Linux In Linux, we have significant control when to perform system updates and what gets updated, while Windows updates are more or less automated and they are usually less flexible. Windows gives you has ability to uh, name file with certain character length, and you cannot go beyond using certain characters in the file name. While Linux allows you to use almost any characters, and it gives you a much larger character length. Coming to some enterprise storage solutions. So I would like to talk about network attached storage and storage area network. Network attached storage, or NAS as we call it, it basically gives you an ability over LAN based connected nodes where files are shared using a standard Ethernet connection. So a NAS server basically contains multiple hard drives, providing a large amount of centralized storage for connected computers. So instead of each computer sharing or saving data locally, this data is stored in a centralized location, and this data can be accessed by other users. So because of their centralized nature, NAS servers are used in business networks, and they are more common in home networks also. They're usually best suited for file sharing, data backup, disaster recovery, network printing, multimedia file sharing, or media servers. Now, coming to storage area network, it's a high speed network that basically connects shared pool of storage devices to multiple servers. Each server on the network can basically access hard drives in storage area network. Whenever a specific computer has to write on storage area network, it basically sends a block based access request, and then it gets access to write on the SAN network storage device. It gives the ability of NAS with direct attached storage. So it's much faster for users to use a SAN based storage system. It use it uses a dedicated cabling, fiber channel, for example, or Ethernet based storage hardware. It is it is almost useful for small and mid-sized businesses. A SAN is a block level storage solution, so it's highly recommended for applications like databases, so your SQL database, MySQL database, your media libraries, your file servers, your email servers, your backup archives, your vaulting, mirroring, and heterogeneous platform support. Now let's move and look at some of the advantages and disadvantages of NAS and storage area network. For NAS, it's very convenient. It's a LAN-based network setup storage mechanism, so it's very convenient to set up NAS. NAS is also very reliable, so it uses supports RAID 0, RAID 1, and RAID 5, which makes your data safer. It is also very much affordable. So NAS devices are usually cost less compared to normal servers and have less energy consumption as well. It's also easy, it's fast and easy installation. Some of the disadvantages include its network dependent. So since NAS uses local area network, it can cause network congestion when the traffic is moving for applications. Uh, and then it also has minimal speed. So uh, if it's high throughput, we'll see the speed is not as fast as we want. So it's not suitable for high performance applications, example, a database. Um, Coming to some of the advantages of storage area network. For a storage area network, it's better disk utilization. So since it's a pool of resources and pool of storage, you can dynamically allocate what each server requires. It gives you a higher performance. It is also better having a better availability and scalability for applications. Storage area network also gives a effective disaster recovery mechanism. So since it's in a distant location, it has secondary storage array, so you can recover from disaster situations. Dynamic failover protection is another feature of storage area network. So if a server fails, it goes offline or in maintenance, it can go to a different node. It's highly scalable, so servers and storage devices are independent of one another, so you can add as many nodes as possible. Coming to some of the few disadvantages, it's a complex network to set up for all the systems to connect to storage area network, and the devices and the entire setup is not as cost efficient as a NAS setup, so it's costly. Uh, Now coming to some of the ethical considerations for when it comes to IT storage, and we will think it from Christianity's human principles. So Christianity talks about stewardship. So what it means is that we need to own whatever we drive. This makes businesses to think that decisions are not economically savvy, but also ethical. So we should not only think of cost saving, but we also need to make sure that we are not compromising data security or the well-being of society. We need to think of solutions having high degree of integrity. Integrity means we need to have high moral principles. We need to show honesty for our customers. We should not give misleading information to our users. And finally, um, we need to think of justice. So, justice means we need to think that we are treating fairly to all our stakeholders. Businesses must think that storage solutions are impacting their employees, customers, and the wider community. So they should not pick up solutions that can create a digital divide or that gives not the equal treatment to all the stakeholders, users, and society. Now, coming to enterprise storage cost and ethics, we need to think of affordability versus quality. So, when we think of the affordability from a business perspective, we need to also think what is the quality of a solution. So, quality is always paramount. So, we need to think that we are not compromising the quality of the solutions because it's cheaper. So, we need to make sure that it doesn't impact our stakeholders, uh, and what is the long-term impact of taking these storage decisions. Ethical decision always include that our business practices and moral values are for the societal benefits. Also, we need to be transparent in our storage capabilities and what are the limitations with our stakeholders, and establish that trust that basically while selecting the storage solutions, we can let our stakeholders be well informed and let them know that these are the rationale why we have picked up a specific solution. Uh, how can we integrate ethics in technology? We need to think about value assessment. So, when we are integrating storage solutions in technology ecosystems, we need to think of how can technology serve to enhance uh, human dignity and societal benefit. How does our solutions, our IT footprint, impact community? Are we thinking of reducing carbon footprint? Are we thinking of reducing e-waste? Are we thinking of reducing digital divide in the community? And finally, the last thing that we need to think is future foresight. How does we think our future should look like? So we need to make ethical decision making and be ready for our future challenges. So that means that we need to invest in sustainable and adaptable technologies that can evolve with changing ethical standards and societal norms. With that, thank you.